Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Think it's best I put my heart on ice, 'cause I can't breathe. I'ma put my heart on ice, give the best of me.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm in my capstone class right now. Integrative System Design is what this class is called, and we are briefing our instructor right now. He's sitting right there.
The core element of SDN architecture, it actually enables a centralized control and management across the network. So we're using Open Daylight as our controller. It's basically
My capstone class is all morning, and right after it, I go to lunch formation and then here to mandatory lunch. When the food comes, I'm supposed to put the 7A thing down so they know that our table has been served.
I heard not to pick Fort Irwin, but I don't really know why.
I think because it's like NCC.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's like in the middle.
Lunch is over, and now I'm making my way to the PX. West Point looks so pretty today, covered in snow. That's MacArthur statue. This is the Soup's house, which is right in front of Arvin Gym, and right across from the plane. The plane's where we do all our parades. Okay, on my way to the PX, I just stopped the wrong bus. I stopped the sports shuttle, but I'm waiting for, I think the Smurf bus, a blue bus that's gonna come. It should be here by now. That's why I was confused. I thought that was the bus. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of the sidewalk. Across. Okay. So I'm standing across from the Thayer statue. I'm standing across from the Thayer statue, across from the parade field, and hopefully there's gonna be a bus that comes soon. Because I need to get to the PX. At the PX, I need to get fitted for my AGSUs. It's gonna be so expensive, y'all. They're wrong for not paying for our uniforms. Like, I don't think you should ever have to pay for a uniform that you have to wear. This bus is gonna take us all the way up to the PX, and it has some other stops along the way, so it'll be about a 10-minute-ish drive, maybe less.
And I don't really bet much during the summer. I might tell you, like, if I'm bored, like, they'll play the Orioles, and they'll probably post out over it's 9.5 pages for the 16 on there. But I like to play others for the first century. This is maybe
This bus will take you to all the places on base that's not so walkable. So that's the hospital, it takes you to the prep school, it takes you down to Ike. Ike is pretty walkable though. I used to love just getting on the bus when I was an underclassman because there's a moment where you go off base and you go on the highway to like wrap around to the other gate. And for just a moment, if you close your eyes, you can pretend that you're leaving post and going home or anywhere but West Point. So the only thing I'm getting today is the major pieces. So you want to get the shirt. Okay, so I'm about to try on my long sleeve undershirt. I'm only getting the long sleeve because it's what we're gonna commission in. I should get both, but why? All right, so this is it on. It's pretty much a perfect, it fits perfectly. It's the same size as my top. So now we're gonna go get my pants, an extra large male pants. We're gonna find literally the largest pair of pants that they have, males. It was perfect.
You do like all the ranks and stuff? Are you designing that today?
No, I'm just gonna buy the top and this shirt, and I wanted to buy the pants, but I was wondering what the largest size male pants you had because I wanted to make it into a skirt.
Okay. This is 40. Yeah, there's 46.
Okay.
Biggest we have.
Okay, thank you. This looks like the biggest size they have. Let me just show you guys these pants before I get them. So this is the 46 SC. I'm pretty sure that means 46 short. They're so big. So hopefully they'll be able to like take it in and make it into a skirt. I'm now going to go fit myself for my pinks and greens jacket. Like I said, this is the outfit that I'll be commissioning in. On graduation day, we'll wear the full dress outfit, which I showed you guys when I took my senior pictures 2 videos ago. We'll be in that outfit for graduation, but then right after graduation, everyone has to quick change into their commissioning outfits, which is these uniforms, and then take the oath and commission and everything. I've been contemplating whether I even wanted to have a commissioning ceremony because Jalen won't be graduating with me as of now, so I kind of will feel sad if I commission by myself, but I'll still get the uniform anyways for other ceremonies and things. Like I said earlier, West Point isn't paying for this uniform, and I feel like they should. I feel like these uniforms should be issued like all our other uniforms, but technically we're not going to be cadets anymore when we actually have to wear this uniform, which is likely why they're not giving us any money for it. And these outfits are really expensive, but I am making $550 a month as a cadet. That's like our monthly allowance as a senior. And then I also do hair on the side. You guys know my little hair business I got going on, my big hair business I got going on, so I'll be able to pay for it. I just feel like it's the principle. I finished my shopping. These are all my items. Okay guys, I'm headed back to school and we stopped at the prep school. Good morning guys, it's the next day and I put my phone in my windowsill to record outside while I go and get my breakfast for the morning. This is what I had for breakfast. I was able to take a to-go box back to our rooms, which is a thing that they've been doing since COVID hit. I'm now walking to one of my morning classes. I'm sorry for this angle I keep giving you guys, but I'm really not even supposed to be on my phone recording because you can't walk and talk on the phone. I'm not talking, but if I were talking to the camera, then I wouldn't be able to do that, so I'm just trying to I'm trying to stay low key, you know? But it's snowing. All of us are walking to class right now, right in front of Washington Hall. It is actually freezing, you guys. I don't know how the man in front of me is wearing no gloves. Like, where is he from that he's out here with no gloves? It's so cold. I'm in class now. This is digital logic with embedded systems class.
In my opinion. It's also fun because there is literally, as long as you put the work and the time in, there is zero chance of you losing points on this if you just follow instructions and actually put the time in. Actually do the lab. What is it? 300 points in this course, I think, right? And a lot for labs. So there you go. You already got you're on your way to a strong app already. But just doing the lab.
Instead of formation and mandatory lunch, I'm going to the West Point Club for a luncheon today. The West Point Club is hosting an MLK luncheon today. I love these luncheons because the food is better than the mess hall food. I can sit wherever I want and sit with my friends, and I've never come to one of these and not learned something new or not left inspired or heard something insightful. Some students from the history department, I believe, went on a civil rights staff ride, and in this luncheon they're sharing their experience with us. They went from here all the way to Tulsa. It's a very immersive, interdisciplinary experience.
And on behalf of the Equal Opportunity Office, I want to thank you for coming up here today and giving us your experiences that you all felt throughout the staff ride. Because I think it's important to get that message out of what happened during this ride. Because as you could tell, each and every individual had their own certain experiences throughout this staff ride. So I really do appreciate you all taking your time out of your busy day, because I know you're all busy, and sharing your message with everybody. So on behalf of the United States Military Academy, I'd like to present a small token of appreciation for you all coming out here today and sharing your words.
Not even our big
That's what
school,
I
our
said.
type of school.
Captain Hope, he's definitely a real one, bro. He's the only one that mentioned.
The luncheon was really good today because they talked about the racism that's still going on here at West Point, which they rarely do. The leadership rarely addresses that. I wanted to take you guys the back way to the library and show you the ice wall. I love walking past this ice wall because it's so pretty to me. It is so cold, I'm about to cry. I'm here in the library now, Jefferson Hall. I'm about to give you a little pan over of the school. One of these days when I have time, I want to do a whole campus tour for you guys and show you all of the barracks rooms and barracks buildings, because all of the barracks look pretty different. I've stayed in every single barracks throughout my time here at West Point, and I really want to show you guys Davis Barracks because I think that's the best one. It's hard because you have to walk up a lot of stairs every single day, and we're not allowed to use the elevators except after COP. So I will probably give you all the tour after COP, but yeah, I want to show you guys Davis. I want to show you guys the First D. I've actually never been in the First D, so we could go in there together. The First D Club is this little kind of bar on campus. But yeah, I'm going to head to a brief now. I went to the branching brief, the first one. I had to leave early because I started crying. Like, I wanted to know more about the branch, but it's just like whenever I talk about it, I feel really sad. I'm really upset here, you guys, because I feel like West Point has really been my personally curated worst nightmare. I always viewed graduation as like a light at the end of this dark tunnel, and I don't see that light anymore. I feel like on branch night, I was sentenced to 4 more years of suffering. And it's going to be even worse suffering because I'm going to be all by myself for the first time in 22 years. Jalen's not going to be with me. My twin sister is not going to be able to come to Oklahoma with me. I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere all alone. None of my close friends are coming either. And so yeah, this is a very valid crash out for me. Except at West Point, you don't have really time to crash out. So I probably cried for 5 minutes tops and then went to the bathroom and got ready for spirit dinner. I could have skipped, but those are mandatory. After spirit dinner, I went to the PX. I love going to the PX by myself when I'm having a hard day. But I feel like I've been having more bad days than good days, and just feel like I'm spiraling again. Binging, purging. You know when you can feel yourself just deteriorating? That is where I'm at right now, and I need to regroup and focus on the things I can control, because at the end of the day, I'm all for, getting in your feelings, but you cannot stay in your feelings for very long, especially at an institution like this. So what I did was I focused on how can I help myself with the thing that is worrying me the most right now, which is moving halfway across the country without my support system to do a job I don't feel prepared for. Fortunately, I remembered that I've never had an original experience here at West Point, and there are many girls last year and the year before me who felt the same way that I did. So what I did was I reached out to those girls for help. I don't know why it took me so long to do this. It's really hard for me to ask for help. I usually don't ask for help until I'm about to snap. at my breaking point. But yeah, I reached out to the upperclassmen who are now officers and basically told them how I was feeling and asked for their advice. They were so sweet. The upperclassmen girls have always been so sweet and have always been like, if you need anything, just reach out. But I've never really used that until now. Reaching out to them, DMing them, Snapchatting them, texting them, whatever was the most important thing I could have done for myself, because the emotional support it offered me was so needed. Yes, it's gonna be hard, but they've been telling me it's not as hard as West Point. They said if I can get through West Point, then I can get through any branch of the real army, and I believe them. If they can do it, I can do it too, and I feel so inspired by them. Shout out to them. By the end of the month, you guys, look who is able to make it through their first branching brief. This is for post night. Sat through the whole thing, no tears, so we really are moving in the right direction. Boom, boom. Today I'm UDO, and I'm going to be taking you through what that means and what my day looks like. We're going to go to hours formation. Right now I'm just going to take a shower, do my morning routine, and get dressed for hours formation. As UDO, I don't have to go to hours formation, but my roommate is CDO, so I'm going to go with her and, show you guys the process. Okay, so I finished my shower and now I'm with my roommate who's CDO, and I decided to choose this weekend to show you guys hours formation just because since my roommate's CDO, then I'm just gonna, just follow her around and show you everything. So before the actual formation, we have a formation in our company where everyone who has hours for the weekend, meaning if you got in trouble for something this week or maybe last month and your hours are due this weekend, then you're supposed to show up to the hallway. Once we have our mini inspection in our company, we go outside and then have a bigger formation. All the cadets here right now are all the cadets that have hours in the brigade, and I'm standing with 4th Reg. Usually there's 1, maybe 2 officers or NCOs who are out here with us, but most of this is just cadet run. He said what? Saturday shit.
Go.
Yeah. You want to do an interview?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I'm radicalized right now. I don't know what I might say.
Fallen. See the report?
Now Becca right there is gonna inspect everyone who's has hours in our company, and when she's inspecting them, she's just making sure their uniform looks right and making sure they have their CAC and their dog tags on them. And then our whole regiment is here, so we have A through I company and 4th Regiment, and all of their CDOs are inspecting their own prospective companies. You can receive hours as a punishment for pretty much anything as small as skipping class or anything as big as like maybe an alcohol board or blowing posts. If you walk over 100 hours, you get a patch and you are a sentry man or woman. You can also get what's called first sergeant hours, which is kind of like off the record hours, and you might just be cleaning around company. Or if whoever is the brigade officer on duty wants to do something else like cleaning hours or game hours, sometimes they'll send everyone who has hours to watch a game on the weekend, and that counts as your hours because they want to fill up seats and stuff. You can also be put on room restriction, which I personally think is an excessive punishment because we're already locked up here as it is. Like, we literally cannot leave post. So then to confine someone to their room, I think is a bit much, but you can be put on a room restriction for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however. And then obviously the big one is privileges. You can get your privileges taken away. So if you do have a pass, you can't go on pass, you can't wear civilian clothes. Okay, so the person on the queue just complimented my outfit. So now I'm gonna go get food. It's really sad because you have to pass all those people walking hours. Super cold outside, so you know that they're miserable. But yeah, I'm just out here walking. walking and talking. I ordered from the bowling alley. They're the hands down the best place to order from because lots of people don't know about it. It's like an underground type. A lot of people don't know that the bowling alley delivers food, so not a lot of people order from there, meaning their delivery time is the fastest. I ordered this 8 minutes ago and they're already here, and the food is so good. And you don't have to wait out here. They'll call you right before you get here. Well, they'll call you right before they're about to come, so you don't have to be waiting out here. Like if you're ordering from Shades will make you wait. Never had to wait on bowling alley, and for that I love them. Also, I have some beef with Shades because they be lying, saying that their milkshake machine's broken, they can't deliver any milkshakes. I don't think that's true. I know that's not true, but let me get my food. Hi ma'am, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just ran into my tag officer. She come here to put clothes on. I got my food. I ordered wings and fries. I order the same thing every single place I go to. I always order the same thing. It's a problem. Yeah, I ran into my tech officer while I was out there. So as soon as I got back from hours formation, I went to go get some food. I cannot be out there any longer. It is so cold, and they are foul for putting them in long go. The warmest uniform, everyone knows the warmest uniform is ACUs and Gore-Tex because you can get a fleece cap with it. But I think in the little circle they convinced him to let them wear Gore-Tex, and so you'll see them out there. We can see them out there now. See, they're out there. They're not walking. They're stopped because that truck is coming by. But, oh wait, sorry. Sorry, this is a terrible angle, but you can kind of see them walking. I'm gonna eat, maybe do a little bit of homework, maybe do a little bit of cleaning. Okay, this is what the fries and wings look like. I also got a side of honey mustard. While I'm eating and about to start my homework, I'm just showing you guys a time lapse of the cadets out here walking hours, just so you understand that they're literally just out here walking back and forth in the freezing cold for hours on a weekend. Not everybody walks hours. You don't have to walk if you're on a profile, and you also don't have to walk if you're a core squad athlete in season. I'm pretty sure I've showed you guys sitting hours before. It's pretty much just the detention, and it's upstairs in Washington Hall. I personally feel the same way about the punishment system that I do about the honor system here, in the sense that I feel like it's corrupt. You'd understand why I feel that way if you go and look at my other video where I showed the numbers and the stats, but I don't think the punishment system is fair because everything's left up to our own discretion, or our attack officer's discretion. We can write NCORs on each other, or we cannot write NCORs on each other. We can give each other counselings or not. Our attack officer can give us 10 hours, or he can give us 20 hours. He can give us 100 hours. Everything's up to everybody's discretion. And at a predominantly white male institution, things can get really messy. I often feel like I'm not being treated fairly or punished fairly. I watch some of my classmates give each other the benefit of the doubt, or my tech officer gives some of my classmates the benefit of the doubt, say things like, oh, he didn't mean to, he would never do that on purpose. They're still learning, they're still growing, they deserve a clean slate, they don't need their record tarnished forever. Just have a conversation with them, give them a slap on the wrist, and they walk away scot-free. While for the rest of us, it's, oh no, you knew exactly what you were doing. You're not even trying. It doesn't look like you even want to be here. They'll pay attention to every little thing you do and nitpick every little thing you do. And as soon as they get something, they'll immediately report you, max you out, and they will staple these sentiments to you. And you'll have to carry them around with you for your whole time here.
Okay, take a step. If you feel you've ever been mistreated by a student or a faculty member of this school. Emily, one step at a time. Take a step if you've ever felt the school was an unsafe or unwelcoming environment. Emily, one step is not enough. It's not safe or welcoming. For some of us, it gets worse every day. What do you mean by that? I used to enjoy going to school, being a part of a team and all that. But now you make one mistake and you're tarnished, never to be trusted again.
Emily, can I see you for a moment?
Okay, take a step if you've ever lied to your parents about drinking alcohol.
If you're feeling unsafe and unwelcome, maybe it's because your behavior has made your teammates and other students at this school feel the same way. Now, you're not helping your cause by attacking me.
I wasn't a...
You're no saint, Emily. Maybe it's time you take a look at what got you to this point.
Many of you are afraid to talk about the things that could bond you to strangers. But this exercise is about discovery. Discovering yourself and discovering your classmates.
It's very interesting to me how our leadership always is quick to say, of course there's racism and sexism at West Point, because West Point is just a microcosm of society. But then when you say your personal feelings, when I share my situations and how I feel, my feelings are always invalidated. It's always flipped back on me about what I'm doing and not doing. Or I'm told there's some bigger picture that I'm not seeing and I need to mind my own business. But again, everybody's minding my business. If I say I'm going to my room and I stop by the company store, why am I getting approached for clarification? People are saying I'm lying because I'm in the company store and not in my room. First of all, I was not talking to you. You're minding my business in my conversations, and maybe I was on the way to my room and got hungry and wanted to stop by the company store for a snack. Maybe I do make a genuine mistake. Maybe I'm tasked for the queue. I'm supposed to be there at 4 and I fall asleep. We all know where each other's rooms are. Instead of coming to wake me up and letting me know I have a CQ shift, is, oh, we got to write a negative COR. Next thing you know, I'm at a company board, walking hours. Meanwhile, when it's somebody else, nobody's making it their business to figure out who's supposed to be on it. We got to tell their leadership, we got to do this and that. We can't tolerate. Nobody's thinking that until it's you. And this happens again and again and again because you are going to make mistakes when you come here. You're not going to know everything as hard as you try to prepare. I have been preparing to come here my whole entire life. Didn't apply to any other school. I've been preparing my whole life and still got here, didn't know things, made a whole bunch of mistakes, failed at so many things before I could get them right. But when every time you fail, your peers are talking about you, or every time you make a mistake, they're on you, they're writing you up, they're telling your leadership is on you, they're writing you up. Your TAC team's not encouraging, they're not giving you the benefit of the doubt that they're giving other people. That's when you start feeling that you have to be perfect, you can't make mistakes like other people, you have to be 3, 4, 5 times better because your one tick is going to count for 3 and their one tick is going to count a half a tick because somebody's going to erase it. I genuinely felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, guys, and I felt like people were waiting for me to make a mistake or do something bad so they could get me out of here. That's how I felt. I literally got peer mentors because I'm trying to think, they're doing it right. They seem to be having an easy time. Like, what am I doing wrong? In one of the videos I posted before, Jalen calls me a social outcast in my company. And I wouldn't say I was a social outcast, but I just did not trust my company. And personally, I think it's because I did put judgments on them. I felt like a lot of people in my company have really bad character, which I told you guys about in other videos. I felt like, once someone tells me I think that the Native Americans deserve to have their land taken away and everybody's laughing, I don't F with any of you. And I'm not just gonna look at you crazy either and we both be uncomfortable. No, I'm gonna put it on the floor and say, why would you say that? That's really messed up. And I'm gonna be the one to start that conversation while everybody's just looking at each other like, oh, I can't believe he just said that. Or if one of my classmates once said, I feel like if I can bench more than you, you should not be in charge of me. And I thought that was so messed up because at that time we had a female PSG and she was so cool. Like, she went on to do Sandhurst and she went on to do Ranger School too and pass. When Luke said that, everybody started laughing, but it's like, me and the girls don't find that funny. I don't think the pedophile jokes are funny. I don't think that going the whole training without changing your underwear is cute or funny. I think it's disgusting. And I will say how I think. And it's funny because I was in a CCEP session when I was an underclassman. It was of all girls. They split the girls and the boys up and we were talking about Sharp and we were talking about the inappropriate things we feel like the guys do and say that makes us uncomfortable and makes it hard to connect with them. And there was this one upperclassman girl who was always hanging out with the boys, and it was very noticeable that she was kind of like one of the guys. And she spoke and she was like, yeah, I feel like the guys, they make these comments and say these things, but I just will laugh with them because I want to be a part of the group. And she said those comments make her uncomfortable too, but she was pretty much sitting with that discomfort so that she can kind of be on the end. And I'll never forget her telling us this because it really made me think for weeks. It made me sit back and ponder and sit back and watch, because I really can relate to not wanting to stir the pot or call people out, because that does take not only a mental toll on you every time you have to do that, but it takes a physical toll on you, because like I said, if you don't have a lot of friends and are instead not making enemies, because it's not really an enemy type thing, we're still kind of a family. Just because we're all here together, it still feels like as a company you're a family. But it's just, if you're not on people's good side, I guess, when you slip up, it's gonna be a huge thing. It's gonna blow up while they will have each other's backs. Or not even slip up, it's like I told you guys in one of my last videos, if I say hours for missions at 11, why am I getting approached for clarification and people are trying to honor board me for lying because it was at 12? Maybe I just didn't know. Maybe I just did not know. And when I'm not being given the benefit of the doubt again and again, and they're giving each other the benefit of the doubt, they would never do that to each other. It makes me feel like everybody hates me. But yeah, that CCEB session definitely changed my perspective, and I'm glad that upperclassman was honest, because I get exactly why she was saying that. It's just, for me personally, I'd rather just kind of fade and keep to myself and mind my own business if I know that trying to include myself and get in the group circle and hang out is just going to lead to me bickering with my peers. And it's not all of my peers, it's not my entire company, it's not all of the guys even. Like, I've had my guy friends on the channel before, a handful of them, but it's just when they're the majority, it feels very overwhelming at times. And it does make it feel like it's because I'm a girl, or it's because I'm black, or it's because I'm a black girl, or it's because of my personality, only because of the way that my company is divided. And we've all had conversations and agreed that our company is very divided. And again, it's not all companies even, so please don't watch my videos and be like, oh, I don't want to. No, it's not all companies. I know some companies that I would love to be a part of because they just seem so happy and together. I think it's my company specifically, and I think it's the name, you guys. I say this in so many videos, but I mean, when you come into the company and they're saying things like scalp them, they're telling us the motto is scalp the women and children, but they're telling us make sure not to say that to anybody outside the company. Outside the company, you just say it's Go Apaches. And they're buying costumes from Party City and dressing up as Native Americans and painting their faces, and everybody's looking at that like it's okay. And then when you say something again, I say something and I'm the crazy one, I'm the unfun one, I'm this and that, I'm being extra and dramatic. People are getting Apaches tattooed on their bodies, but I'm the dramatic one. People are branding each other with Apache heads. They're taking branding irons and burning the Apache mascot logo into each other's bodies, but I'm extra. I'm the one who's doing the most. And our company was doomed from the start. The company climate was doomed from the start. There was also a very big alcohol problem in our company, to the point where there was a big plaque. When I was first coming in, they had this big plaque made that said Apachaholics. It was huge. It like went across the whole wall, and I don't have a picture of that. They ended up taking it down that year because our TAC officer was caught out drinking at a bar with a cadet, and that had him removed, not from being an officer or a TAC. They just removed him and sent him to brigade. That situation, on top of all the alcohol boards coming out of A4, the sign, the leadership said take it down. It's not a good look, even though that's who we are. I won't say that alcohol leads to Sharp. I think that it was well known that a majority of Sharp cases at West Point involved alcohol. And so in addition to the racial insensitivity and the cultural appropriation in my company, the alcohol and the Sharp also played a role in just the poor company climate. I will never ever forget, I was a sophomore year was so bad, guys. guys. I thought it couldn't get worse than being a plebe and having plebe duties, but sophomore year was so rough. I was a sophomore and I was in bed. It had to be like midnight or something. It was so late. It was past tabs, but I think it was a branch night or a post night. It was some big night for the firsties, so they get extended taps and they're allowed to go to the firstie, they drink, and then they come back to the barracks. And I just remember it was really, really late, midnight, and my roommate wakes me up dead out of my sleep, and she's like, Jasmine, it's an old roommate of mine, not one of my current roommates, and she's like, Jasmine, someone's in the room. And again, I was in REM sleep, guys. Like, I'm waking up dead out of my sleep. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, someone was trying to crawl into bed with me. There's someone in the room. And I sit up in my bed and look in the corner, and there is literally a man in the corner with his shirt off. I can't quite see who it is, but I can see somebody is in the room with us. And so I go, you need to leave. And he's just standing there staring at us, and I'm getting really scared at this point because who is this shirtless man in my room? Why is he trying to crawl into bed with my roommate? I'm in bed with the big t-shirt on. I don't have any pants on. Why is it this man leaving the room? Like, so many thoughts going through my head. I'm just like, you need to leave, like in my strongest voice, and this man is just standing here. My roommate is holding onto my arm, and we're both looking at him, and it's just like an awkward silence. I get out of bed and I go turn on the big light, and you guys know from my Sammy videos, the big light only gets turned on for Sammy. So turning on the big light is a big thing. I turn on the big light and I say again, you need to leave. And then he grabs his shirt and just runs out of the room. We're freaked out and creeped out, as any young girl should be, because your room is supposed to be your safe space, especially past taps. Grown men should not be trying to crawl into bed with you in the middle of the night. I asked my roommate if she's okay. She's just freaked out, and we go to sleep, and the next morning he sent us an email and was like, I'm so sorry to you guys. I was drunk and just thought that was my room. That's what he said. I thought that was my bed. Me personally, I'm always gonna try to see the good in people. Like, I'm not just gonna assume that he's lying and assume that, you know, he would want to make two underclassmen girls feel unsafe. I obviously let my roommate make the final decision on whether we want to report this person or not, but after receiving the email, she decides that she thinks it's an honest mistake. Which, okay, let it be an honest mistake. But you guys have to understand, it just gets to a point. All right, it gets to a point because seeing the good in other people always, and them constantly seeing the worst or assuming the worst about you, is really frustrating. For example, they have something called company athletics here. I've taken you guys with me to my company athletics and my sister's company athletics before, but basically every other day, if you're not a core squad athlete, then you have to do company athletics with your company. And one semester I had just got surgery and was on profile, and let my chain of command know I'm on profile this semester. And when the company athletics time came around, I didn't get an email like I had in the previous semesters about me being on a team, which makes sense because I sent up my chain of command that I'm on profile, and the profile exempts me from competing in any sports. Like, I'm literally in a boot, you guys. And half the semester goes by, I get an email from the actual adults in charge of our physical grades telling me that I have an F for this semester because I haven't shown up to a single company athletics practice. And I respond to the lady and I'm like, ma'am, no, this is a mistake. I'm not in company athletics this semester because of my surgery. I let my chain of command know, and nobody, if I was on a team, the team captain would have definitely emailed me by now and told me that I've been missing practices. Like, there's no way I'm on a company athletics team. Please take this F out of the system. It's just a non-complete. And she replies to me and is like, no, you're supposed to be on flag football. Like, you're on the flag football roster. You haven't shown up. You get an F for company athletics. And I'm doing my Twilight Zone laugh, because sometimes you can only laugh at certain things to keep from going crazy. I obviously am going to go back to my company, my leadership, the flag football team captain, and be like, wait, was I supposed to really be on flag football this entire time? Come to find out, the flag football captain is the same, not my enemy, but we had gotten into it a few times. He's an upperclassman, obviously, because he's the captain, but we had gotten into it before, and he had been forced by our leadership to apologize to me about something. I don't even want to get into explaining that situation because it's just so much to explain, but basically we are not on good terms. And we weren't on good terms because a few semesters prior to the situation happening, I was a freshman and he was a sophomore, and we were seated at the same lunch table. Now, as freshmen, you're supposed to bring entertainment for the entire table every single day for lunch and on spirit dinners, which are on Thursday. I've taken you guys with me to spirit dinners. We went to spirit dinner in this video, but yeah, you bring entertainment as plebes, and at my lunch table that I was a plebe at, they'd want us to bring jokes to the table. Like, that was our form of entertainment every single day. And if they didn't like our jokes, they would give us a low rating. If they did like it, they'd give us a high rating. And if combined we didn't reach a certain rating, then we'd have to do a punishment. Mind you, I'm the only girl at this table, you guys, and knowing my company, that's already a recipe for disaster. So I prepare my jokes every single day, and my jokes are like, what did the butcher say to introduce his wife? Meet Patty, ha ha ha. Nobody finds that funny. When my fellow plebe classmates tell incestuous jokes or racist, sexist jokes, that is hilarious to the table commandant and everybody sitting at the table, and they get high ratings. They get 9s and 10s for that joke. Meanwhile, I got a 2 or 3, and I'm sure you can imagine my dread of going to lunch every day knowing that I'm probably going to get punished or be the reason we get punished, or just knowing I'm probably going to hear something insensitive, awful come out of my classmate's mouth and everybody's gonna laugh at it. So every day I would come back to my room and tell my roommates, different pair of roommates than I had now. We switch roommates every single semester, but I come back, tell my roommates what happened at lunch, and they would be like, that's terrible, Jazz. You gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta say something. But it's just so hard in that moment when I'm at a disadvantage power-wise. Like, it's a power imbalance here. And second, gender wise, like, I'm the only girl, I'm the only black girl, I'm the only black person at this table. You know, it's one thing to say something to my peers, like my fellow plebes, about their jokes, and I had in the past. Like, I've been like, why would you say a joke like that about Sharp if it was your sister? Because the guy who had said it had a sister. I'm like, if it was your sister and it was a joke about molesting your sister, would it be so funny? And he's like, well, no, but that would never happen. He said these things don't happen in real life. And so we get into it, but that's a whole nother situation. Going back and forth with your peers, bickering with your classmates, that's one thing. Going back and forth with the upperclassmen, saying something to them as an underclassman, that's a whole nother thing. And the day that I finally said something to the table commandant, I had said something like, sir, I don't find these jokes funny. I don't want to hear them anymore. Something along those lines. Matthew, the sophomore, interrupts our conversation and is just like, no, Private Haynes just wants the jokes to stop because hers suck and she gets low ratings. That's why she wants to stop. And proceeds to try to tease me. We get into it because to try to bully me after I have built up so much courage to say something to my table commandant is so insane to me. Like, you want to make jokes? How about we talk about your life? How about I bring your life to the table as entertainment? Because that is a big joke. You see, when I'm rude and insensitive, it's a problem. But when they do it, it's funny. It's hilarious. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem always, 100% of the time. When I do something, the table commandant ends up shutting it down, and he says no more jokes for the rest of the semester. And everyone's upset about that. And I feel like it's my fault. I never said I wanted the jokes to end. I just said change the jokes. But he ends all the jokes, period. And yeah, that's like the story of the sophomore night. I know I said I was going to get into it because it's a long story, but I said it anyways. Flash forward a couple semesters to the flag football company athletics debacle. He's the team captain and just mysteriously, coincidentally leaves me off of the roster. You think, why would he hold a grudge all of this time? We just have not been cool since that moment. Like, not even cordial. Like, I tried to wave and smile at everybody I walked past in the company, regardless of any situations, but it just never really buffered out. And you're meaning to tell me they gave you a roster? You had to input everybody's name by name into the email that you send them. And he said he just accidentally skipped over mine and just didn't think about it the whole entire semester. I'm obviously going to think, no, it was because I was going to be the only girl on the team, or it's because he just doesn't like me. It could have been the reason. It could have not been the reason. It could have very well been just a coincidence and a mistake, but it doesn't really matter because not only do I have an F in company athletics, which is detrimental to your physical GPA, somebody wrote a negative COR on me, and now I have a company board. I'm at my company board trying to explain to my TAC officer that I would never purposefully not show up somewhere that I know I'm supposed to be. I was told, like everybody else on the team was told, everybody else in the company was told, that my place of duty was Buffalo Soldier Field, then I would have waddled down there in my boot 2 miles every single day, sat on the sidelines, cheered my team on. If that was my place of duty, then that was my place of duty. I'm trying to explain this to my TAC officer, right? And he is just insinuating literally the worst about me, saying that I just wanted to skip, I just wanted to sham, this and that. The team captain's being given, again, the benefit of the doubt. Like, of course he wouldn't do that on purpose. Of course he wouldn't. But here I am. Not only do I have an F in company athletics, my physical GPA is worse. I have a negative COR in the system that sounds so bad. And on top of all of that, now I have to walk hours because my TAC officer hates me and is giving me hours for this. My military grade will likely suffer as well because the more boards you have during the semester, the lower you're going to be when it comes to the ranking of you and your peers because, I mean, you have more boards, so why would they give you a higher grade than anyone else? I say all this to say whenever I make a mistake, it's always I should have known better, and I'm always answering to it on paper. Should I have to answer for it? Sure. But should I have to answer for it 3 times, 4 times over? No. That is an example, right? The one I just gave you where I'm getting punished for it in 3, 4 different ways. 5, 6 different ways, really, because now the team captain's going around telling the company I'm a piece of this and I'm a piece of that. And it all really goes back to me popping off at the lunch table. Should I have said something at the lunch table? I mean, that's really for you to decide. Me personally, I think it's always important to stand up for yourself and stand up for what's right, but it does become difficult when you start to notice things begin to snowball and snowball and snowball. Cadet drama aside, your TAC team is really the make or break. Your TAC team is really the make or break because if you're getting bullied or harassed by your classmates or your cadet leadership, they're still cadets at the end of the day. They don't hold any real power. Your TAC team, on the other hand, which are the officer and NCO assigned to each company of cadets, they hold all the power. Everything's up to their discretion at the end of the day. So if they're harassing you, a dream can turn into a nightmare real quick, guys, really quickly. It's not only you need a TAC that is not harassing you or targeting you. You need a leader that believes in you and has faith in your ability to succeed here. My favorite TAC was my first ever TAC NCO that I had when I got here. And he was my favorite, not because he was super easy on me. I think he was very hard on me. Actually, in summer training, he would tell me, whenever you see me, drop and give me 10. And he wouldn't say that to nobody else. It was just me. He was my favorite because as loud as he'd be yelling at us about the standards and the discipline, he would be loud yelling at us about how much he cares about us and wants us to do well here. I had another TAC who was a girl. She was the only girl TAC I had my entire time here. She was very disliked, but she was disliked because people felt like she was very harsh, you know? And personally, I didn't mind her because she was harsh, but she was harsh across the board. Like, she wasn't picking and choosing who she wasn't playing favorites, you know, and I can respect that. What's really hard to respect is the TAC officers that, you know, tell lies and play favorites and just wake up every single day and make a decision to use their powers entrusted to them to cause absolute chaos and confusion in their companies. I had a TAC officer who I'm convinced now had to have been waking up every single morning and thinking to himself, how can I further deteriorate unit cohesion amongst these cadets? It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, I have a few more story times. My worst TAC officer, we're gonna call him Captain J. Captain J would just say and do strange things, and at first I wasn't really looking into it too much because, again, I had a lot going on, and I'm not just gonna assume the worst about someone, especially my TAC officer. You don't want to just be on your TAC officer's bad side. So I would let a lot of things go. I would just chalk it up to, you know, West Point's not fair, life's not fair, whatever, and keep it moving. I did not realize that this man was playing games until one semester. It was a semester where we could put in roommate preferences, and I usually never got my roommate preferences. Like, I would look around, see the other girls getting to room with who they want, but I would never get mine. And at this point, I'm getting accustomed. I'm getting used to things like this. So it wasn't that big of a deal until the next semester. They let us put in preferences, and they also let us put in the name of a person that we did not 100% did not want to room with. So all girls put in their top preferences, and they also put in their bottom preferences, like the one person they don't want to room with, and we just all happened to put the same name. We're going to call this girl Elsa. Nobody wanted to room with Elsa. The thing is, I had room with Elsa last semester. Again, I didn't get my preferences last semester, and it was roomed with Elsa, and it was awful. And it was awful because she was just selfish and hard to work with. And I remember once we got into it because she thought it was okay, her rapping the N-word in a song, and I was telling her, girl, you can't do that. And she was upset at me for telling her that. She's just the type of person who's only going to sweep her side of the room. As small as our rooms are, she's going to cut it in half and only sweep her side. I was just so miserable last semester coming back to my room, and it just feeling so cold and empty. So the next semester, when it was time to put in preferences, I had put in my top preferences, and they also allowed us to put in the person that we for sure don't want to room with, like a bottom preference. And so I put Elsa. All the other girls put Elsa. They had put her before, but again, I was roomed with her. The new roommate list comes out, and guess who I'm roomed with? Elsa, of course. I'm roomed with Elsa and another girl, so instead of being in a 2-man with Elsa, I'm in a 3-man with Elsa. So I go to my cadet leadership, the ones in charge of making the rooms, and just bring up the situation to them, just let them know, hey, it's another semester that I have not gotten my preferences. Other people keep getting theirs, and at this point, I'm not picky. Is there anything you can do to help me? I really cannot room with Elsa another semester. And they tell me that there's not much they can do because the tag teams have certain stipulations in place for my class of girls specifically. There was only 8 of us, by the way, in my class, so the cadet leadership is pretty much telling me to go speak with the tags because they've set rules for them regarding the rooming for the 8 of us girls. Before I go in to talk to the tag team, I go and speak with all of the girls because it's kind of rude if I just switch up the rooming for us and not talk to them before. So I pretty much just say how I feel and they say how they feel, and we come up with 2 to 3 different rooming solutions that makes everybody happy. Everybody puts their signature on it. The solutions were nothing too crazy. It was literally just me moving out of that 3-man with Elsa into one of the 2-mans with the other girls who got their preferences, or Elsa moving out of the 3-man and into a 2-man with the girl that she wanted to be roommates with and wanted to be roommates with her in a different class, in the same company but a different class, which is unusual, but it's not unprecedented in our company for people in different classes to be roommates with each other when it comes to the girls. We came up with these solutions. I printed them out, everybody signed them, and I brought them into Captain J, my TAC officer. At our meeting, I told him how I was feeling, and I told him I had brought my concerns to my chain of command, and they had sent me his way because he had certain stipulations about my class of girls rooming situation. And he was like, yeah, he doesn't want a certain 2 girls to room with Elsa in the company because they don't get along. And I'm telling him, sir, I don't get along with Elsa either. I don't want to room with her either. And he's pretty much telling me that I do need to room with Elsa again to build character development, because in the real army, you're not going to like everybody that you have to work with, but you're going to have to figure out how to work with them regardless of your personal feelings. And I get that, but what I don't get is him making accommodations for other girls, saying that they can't room with each other because they don't get along. But then when it comes to me not getting along with the girl, then it's no, you need to room with her. I bring this point up very respectfully, and he's like, it's different for these other 2 girls because Elsa reported them and they had a company board and we just don't need them rooming together. And I was like, sir, I was a part of that company board too. Like, Elsa reported me too. She said my name too. I know exactly the case he was talking about because I had to write a sworn statement for it. But he's basically saying it's not the same thing. I don't have the same issues with Elsa that these other 2 girls have with her. But he said, thank you for bringing the rooming solutions to him, and he'll think about it. He'll think about whether or not he wants to switch up the rooms. A few days go by and the final rooming roster comes out, and guess who I'm roommates with? Mind you, the only thing I was asking for real was to be moved out of the 3-man with Elsa and into one of the 2-mans with the girls who said they would take me. And instead of moving me out of that room, he moves the other girl out of that room. So instead of being in a 3-man with Elsa, he puts me in a 2-man with Elsa again. You really gotta stay on your toes in this company. You gotta stay on your toes because I was not expecting that one. I thought at the very least, I would stay in this 3-man. But to take the other girl out, the only other girl in the company who said she didn't mind rooming with Elsa, that's insane. And that's very callous. It was just mean. It was so mean. I remember a few of the other girls in the company had come to check on me because they had sent the final rooming list through GroupMe. So we all got it pretty much at the same time. And my heart just sank. And I just remember some of them coming to my room and me genuinely just breaking down in tears because we were all shocked. I was so confused, and I'm thinking there's just no way he would. I thought it might have been something I said or did that made him angry and made him want to punish me by taking the third person out of the room instead of me out of the room. I did not genuinely consider that this man was simply plotting my demise until he tape tested me. He tape tested me for the first time, and I failed tape for the first time. I did not know at that time that he did not know how to conduct a tape test. He had been in the military for about 8 years, and I'm barely at 2. So if he says I failed, then I just thought I failed, and now I have to get on the ABCP program. The ABCP program stands for Army Body Composition Program, and basically if you fail tape, you have to get on the program and you have to be taped every single month. And if you fail to make progress in your weight or your tape measurements, then you can be up for separation if it happens more than 2 times in a row. So Captain J, he tapes me incorrectly and puts me on the ABCP program. I am thinking to myself that I haven't gained any weight. How did I fail? But then on the other hand, I have another voice in my head saying, no girl, you look like a whale and you could stand to lose some weight. I don't question the taping methods. I just get on the program and try to lose weight every single month, which is way easier said than done at a place like West Point because it's just such a stressful and busy environment. And also, I've taken y'all with me through the lunch lines, okay? It's not the healthiest food that they give us. We literally ate taquitos this vlog. Like, there is salad up in the lines, but it's not like they have a variety of healthy foods that they give us, and nothing really tastes good. But yeah, this is the moment that I developed my ED because I would just starve in the days leading up to my tape test because I wanted my waist to be as small as possible, and I would take laxatives and do whatever I could to get everything out of my system. I would go on long runs. I'd wrap my stomach, do all the things that you're not supposed to do. Anything you can think of that you shouldn't do to lose weight fast, that's all the things I was doing. And then I would take my tape test, pass, and then I would go on these big binges, like these long binges. I would go through a whole pack. I could go through a family pack of Oreos in one day. No kidding. I would drive up to the PX and go to Burger King by myself, and I'd order 2 BK stackers, 2 fries. They had like a deal where you could get 2 BK stackers, 2 fries, and 2 drinks for the price of 1. Or I would order 2 Shades meals, 2 Shades bacon cheeseburgers, and I would be so scared after because I would think to myself, they're gonna separate me. This was too much food. I need to get it out. And that cycle just continued for months and months. Even after I got off the program, I got off the program in a few months, but the eating habits still continued. A few months after I had gotten off the program, my TAC officer, Captain J, gave me another tape test. And this one, I knew it was coming, so I was making sure I was within the standard. I had had my roommate tape test me and another guy friend tape test me. So I knew for sure I was in the standard before I went to Captain J's tape test. But when he tape tested me, I failed again. And if you're put on the ABCP program twice within 6 months of each other, it's grounds for separation. And my TAC officer, Captain J, he made it very clear that he was planning on initializing my separation paperwork immediately. I'm there asking him, sir, is it possible? Could I please get another tape test by a different TAC officer because I know for sure I'm within the regulation? He tells me, yes, I can go get taped by another TAC officer, but they're gonna take me to the same standard. I say thank you. He dismisses me. I leave the room. I text my mom telling her what's going on. I post on Snapchat telling everybody what's going on. I pretty much post something like, this is my cry for help. They're trying to separate me, y'all. I tell everyone about my ABCP situation because I will not go quietly and silently into the night, you know? Should have asked for help way earlier than this. Probably when I was first put on the program, I should have reached out to other people for help, but it's kind of a touchy topic. And I've noticed that a lot of people, when they have separation scares, they keep it to themselves in like a close inner circle. My personal opinion is when you have a separation scare, you need to tell the whole entire entire villa. You need to tell all your classmates, and you need to tell trusted adults as well. I had a friend who came here with me from high school, and whenever I would talk to him, it would always be positive. He'd always talk about he's doing so well in this and doing so well in that, and next thing I knew, he was gone. He was getting separated because apparently he hadn't passed the PT test since we got here. He was failing classes, and he had an F militarily because he had some incident of blowing pose. It was a lot that nobody knew was going on, and he was just struggling through everything by himself. I know it's kind of ironic I'm saying this because I struggle through everything by myself and don't tell anyone anything. But in situations like this, I do, and I think you should too. Anyways, I texted my mom, posted on Snapchat, and then I went downstairs to B4. I'm in company A4, the Apaches. Below us is company B4, the Buffaloes, and I went in to speak to the TAC team. The TAC NCO was there, and I politely asked him if he would conduct a tape test for me. I told him the whole situation and told him that my TAC officer said it was okay that I get another tape from another TAC. The B4 TAC tells me, of course he'll give me another tape test, but I have to go find a girl because he can't give me a tape test without a girl in the room. And I'm thinking, what? What do you mean you can't give a tape test without a girl in the room? I'm thinking back to all the tape test I took where it was just me and Captain J in the room, you know? And he said, yeah, there's supposed to be a girl in the room. You're not even supposed to take a tape test with just one person in the room. There's always supposed to be two people. And he tells me, bring me back a girl and I'll give you the test. And I'm like, yes, Sergeant. I leave the room and my mom calls me. I'm on the phone with her. I tell her everything that's happened. And she's like, he wasn't taping you with the girl in the room? How exactly was he taping you? And I'm telling her pretty much exactly how my TAC officer was taping me. And she's like, Jasmine, that doesn't sound right. You need to go look at the regulations and you need to read the regulation for ABCP and for tape testing word for word and then call me back. My mom was working at the Pentagon at that time. Thank goodness I had parents who were in the military, not just in the military, but high-ranking officers who both graduated West Point, because my mom could hear that situation and knew that's not right. She just has the ability to give such perfect advice. So I get off the phone with my mom and I go get one of my roommates to come with me to the B4 TAC's office to get my second tape test that morning. The B4 TAC administers a tape test and it's so different from the ones that Captain J gives me. And surprise, surprise, I passed. I took the second test within an hour of the one Captain J gave me and passed. And I was so happy. I had to go to class, but I was planning on speaking to Captain J again, giving him the passing tape test results, and separation avoided, right? You think that it just makes sense, but things don't make sense around here. Remember, I'm in company A4. We have a human mascot and do what they call Apache chops at the end of formations. Like, it doesn't make sense around here. Yeah, I go to class, and while I'm in class, I'm looking up the regulations and I'm reading the regulations word for word. I'm not paying attention to whatever the teacher's saying. I'm paying attention to these regulations, and I discovered that I was being taped wrong the whole time. Like, since last semester, the whole program was conducted egregiously, far from the standard. Most important thing that I found in the regulations was that if you fail a tape test the first time, like one time, you're owed a second tape test by a second pair of hands. So he was taping us wrong. He was only measuring each part of our body one time instead of three. He was not measuring the smallest part of my waist. When he did fail us, we were not given a second tape test by a different person. There were plenty of times it was just us in the room. We didn't know that we were entitled to having a third person or a girl in the room every tape. That's just to name a few things. It was a lot that was going on below the standard, but I find the regulations and I print them out and I highlight all the things that were not done correctly for our tape test. Previously, the two that I had got by him. And after classes and after lunch, I go back to his office and I have that packet of regulations, and I also have my passing tape that the B4 TAC gave me. And when I first got to his office, he's not there. So I turn around and I'm about to leave, but then I see him coming out of the bathroom. So we're in the hallway having this conversation, and I show him my passing tape test and I'm happy. I'm like, sir, I passed the tape test that I got from the B4 TAC. This man is not smiling. It's like really quiet and really awkward. He's just staring at me. And I'm like, I also went and read the regulations for the tape testing procedures and ABCP, and I realized that some things were not being done according to the standard, and I was just hoping that I could get my first ABCP program taken off my record because
it should have never been there. And he's just staring at me, and it's just so uncomfortable. And when I tell you guys, this man was turning so red, but it was like an angry red, not an embarrassed red. It was like he was so mad at me, and he starts questioning me on why I never had a problem with the way that the TAC NCO tape tested me, like my A4 TAC NCO tape tested me. And I'm like, sir, it's not about just you tape testing me wrong. It's about the whole program was conducted wrong, and I'm just asking that it be taken off my record and that you don't initiate my separation paperwork like you said you were going to do 4 hours ago. And he looks me in my eyes and he tells me, I've already initiated your separation paperwork. It's right there. And he points to his office, because we're standing in the hallway outside of his office. He points to his desk inside his office, and there's a packet on his desk. He tells me, it's right there. Your separation paperwork is right there. I've already initiated it, and I'm not taking it down. I'm shaking at this point, guys, because I'm afraid. I'm shaking in fear. I tell him, I say, sir, but the regulations are right here. There's no way they'll separate me. A board will not separate me knowing that you conducted this program below the standard. He says, you're just going to have to present that to the board then at your hearing. I literally felt like I was in this exact episode of Black Mirror. He's Verity and I'm the other girl, because everything that I had thought leading up to this was confirmed. Like, he genuinely wants me out of here. And I'm like, okay, sir, and leave. I call my mom again and I tell her everything that's happened. And she says, Jasmine, you need to contact your IG, because the IG stands for Inspector General, and they're in charge to just make sure that procedures are going the way that they're supposed to. She says, you need to contact IG and tell them what happened, have them investigate the situation, because he can't initiate separation paperwork on you when he was taping you incorrectly the whole time. I say, okay. I contact the IG, tell them everything that happened, and the IG, Inspector General, he tells me he's gonna investigate and he'll let me know what he finds. Like, he'll get back to me. IG contacts me back a few days later, and they tell me there's nothing they can do to help me, because when they spoke to Captain J told them that he never initiated separation paperwork on me. I'm on the phone with IG and I'm saying, sir, that cannot be right. I saw the paperwork with my own eyes. He said he was initiating it. There was nothing I could do to stop him, and that I would have to present my findings as a defense at my separation board. And IG, who's a lieutenant colonel, is telling me that Captain J said that did not happen. And the IG is telling me that they're not even going to open an investigation against him, just simply based on my words alone. This made me feel very scared and sent me into a deep, dark spiral of paranoia, because, like I said earlier, the TAC officers hold all the power and I can't trust mine. He lied to me. He lied to IG. He's making me feel and look crazy in front of these high-ranking officers. I had already scheduled a meeting with my TAC officer's boss, the regimental tactical officer, the RTO, and I decided to exercise the open door policy with the RTO, because in this particular situation, he really did cross the line. Like, beforehand, he was crossing the line in the things that he would say and do, and even the roommate thing was so strange, but it was still kind of in my own head. It wasn't like a very clear display of toxic leadership. But in this situation, the lying and the making me look crazy, that's very dangerous for me, because again, I'm a cadet here, and when things happen, it's always up to your TAC officer's discretion. We both cannot stay in this company at this point. It wasn't just my TAC officer that had me fed up, it was my whole entire company. I walked into the EOA office and I said, I'd like to EO my entire company. And the EOA, the Equal Opportunity Advisor, he was like, what do you mean by that? And I was telling him, I mean, I need to EO the entity that is A4. Throw the whole company out, me included. And he was really nice. He was like, you can't EO your entire company. And he was asking me what things have happened that have made me feel this way. And he was asking me, did I speak with my TAC officer about this? And I said, yes, Sergeant, I have spoken with him. Every time I talk to him, it goes exactly like this.
Now, you're not helping your cause by attacking me.
I wasn't.
You're no saint, Emily. Maybe it's time you take a look at what got you to this point.
So yeah, my EOA was like, okay, I hear you, I feel you. You can't EO your entire company, but just create a list of situations that you've experienced in your company and I'll help you build a report. So I started what became a 200-page EO complaint against my company, and this was being processed the same time I had my sit down with the RTO. The day of our meeting came and he calls me an hour before we're supposed to meet and tells me I need to have a conversation with Captain J. He says, Captain J is gonna call you need to speak with him and then we can have our meeting. I get on the phone with Captain J and I'm recording the whole conversation because I don't trust him. There's no way I'm never having another interaction with him off the record. Captain J gets on the phone with me and he tells me he did not initiate separation on me. He didn't put me on the ABCP program. He said, yeah, I told you I was going to do those things, but they never actually happened. I went to legal and they told me I couldn't separate you. And they also told me that I have to take all your ABCPs and tape test out the system. And he's explaining to me that these are null and void as if I did not already go to him and tell him that it's null and void. He asked me why I didn't ask him about the status or for any updates about my separation. I told him, sir, I did go to you. You told me you were initiating my separation. What else can I do past that? And he said, it's been months and you didn't come talk to me. But the thing is, that is your job. It's your job as a TAC officer to first know how to tape someone before you put them on the ABCP program. It's also your job as a TAC officer, once you say you're going to initiate separation paperwork, regardless of right or wrong, it's your job when legal tells you can't do that to come back to the cadet and tell them, hey, you're good to go. Now he's upset at me because I contacted IG, I contacted RTO, I contacted EO, and now we both look crazy in real life and on paper. Again, when I do something, it's a problem. When they do it, it's cool. When I make a mistake or do something, it's no time for conversation. It's immediately reporting. He immediately started my separation paperwork. You guys, I saw I'm not crazy. But when he does something, it's, oh, why didn't you come talk to me first? Why are you contacting? Why are you reporting? Why didn't you? No. And another thing you guys have to realize is not only was I scared of this man at this point, but when I was on that program, because I was on the program, my privileges were taken away. My grandmother was sick, she was fatally ill, and he denied my pass to go see her. I let him know the situation and he still denied my pass because I was on this program. And my grandmother passed that semester and I never saw her again. And I had to starve myself through grief because I was on a program I should have never been on. All he had to say at the sit down was, I'm sorry. That's all he had to say, but he's still blaming me. He's still questioning me. I should have done this. I should have done that. And at the end, he's asking me, oh, do I still want to speak to the RTO? Yes, I want to speak to the RTO because the problem isn't just me not getting separated. The problem is your behavior. I have my conversation with the RTO and he's basically saying that people make mistakes. Captain J didn't know and we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. The RTO tells me that he's sorry that I went through everything I went through, but it's his job to protect me just as much as it's his job to protect Captain J. He says I should be fine now, I'm not getting separated, and to let him know if I have any more problems. Thankfully, after everything that happened, they removed Captain J as my TAC officer. They sent him to battalion. But Captain J had a little parting gift for me before he left. I think he was just upset that he had been questioned so much and under so many investigations because of me. He wanted to Uno reverse, return the favor. I get contacted by an investigator and they're questioning me about a video. There was this viral video going around the school of a group of girls at a strip club partying, drinking, smoking. Captain J saw that video and wrote on a sworn statement. He wrote on a sworn statement, guys, that I positively identify Cadet Jasmine Haynes as one of the girls in this video. You guys know I don't drink. I've never smoked. I don't party. I've never been to the strip club. I grew up very sheltered and then came straight here. That was not me in that video. And he knew it was not me in that video, but wrote on a sworn statement that it was. And now I'm being investigated at the brigade level, which is the highest level of board you can get. If I was found for this, I could have easily been separated. Thankfully, I have a TAC NCO who's not vindictive, and he wrote on his sworn statement that that's 100% not me in the video. Just because I'm beating case after case does not mean that it does not stick with me. It is exhausting. It's mentally draining. It's distracting to be up for separation or to be up at any board, honor, whatever it is. It's very scary. It sucks the life out of you. He knows this and continued to harass me anyways. When I was preparing to come here, I did not know that I knew there would be toxic leaders, obviously. I knew there would be racism and misogyny and things like that at a predominantly white male institution. I knew all of those things. I just did not know how it translated in reality in the 21st century. You know what I mean? And even my EO complaint that was 200 pages, I remember after I went through, the West Point powers that be offered me an opportunity to switch out of my company. They offered me asylum in company E4. I was like, yes, of course. Thank you. Company E4 is the war elephant, and I knew I would have enjoyed that company a lot more than A4. I would have enjoyed any company in 4th Reg more than A4. I do think that A4 is the 4th Reg as D2 is the 2nd Reg. Each regiment just has its worst company, you know? But yeah, I plan to tell everyone when everything was official and finalized, but guess who beat me to the punch? Like I was telling you guys earlier, it's always going to be somebody minding your business and spreading it throughout the company or throughout your class. But yeah, Elsa leaks that I'm leaving the company. One of the girls says, wait, why? Elsa says, wrong chat, I'm sorry. And then one of the guys say, I would go out on a limb and say that it's because our company as a whole hasn't been very nice to her. He said, I wouldn't blame her if she decided to switch companies. This was a very big turning point for me because this is the first person in my company who has publicly spoken up for me, and I wasn't expecting it from this particular individual because I have very close guy friends in the company who didn't say anything, who have never said anything publicly in my defense. So for this individual who I'm not very close with at all and don't speak to about my personal feelings and experiences, for them to just be an observer in the company, notice how I've been treated and actually say something, meant so much to me. I literally cried, and it reinforced to me that this is not all in my head. Again, anytime I would speak to my TAC officer, he would always flip it back on me. But yeah, he said, I'm just calling it like I see it. And then one of the girls is gonna say, honestly, I think it's our company as a whole that needs to work on being kinder to each other, not really just to her. I think we would benefit a lot from a better company cohesion and unity this year and just create a more positive environment. And then another girl says, I agree, as we move into leadership positions, we need to be cognizant of how we treat one another, especially the underclassmen. I liked both those messages because I don't think it's just me. I'm just the only one who's raising hell about it. I'm just the only one who's making a big deal out of it, because to me it is a big deal and I have been extremely affected by it. My mother always raised me not to let people bully me, stand up for myself, swing if I have to swing, but not to let anybody's thoughts about me or words change what I know to be true about myself. But it does hurt when you're the one being treated bad. It hurt. After this happened, I had certain company mates reach out to me asking me why I'm leaving, asking me why can't I just stay. Then George Floyd was murdered and we started having bigger conversations as an entire company about racism and inclusion. The 4th Regiment got a new RTO who I trusted. My superintendent called a meeting with me, a one-on-one meeting. It was just me, him, and his aide in the room, and wanted to talk about it. He said he read all 200 pages. He was still telling me how systematic racism doesn't exist at West Point and bringing up all these things like survival swim, which was not in my complaint, guys. I did not put swim in my complaint, but he's bringing up all these things like Henry Flipper and Davis, what they experienced at West Point, and I'm trying to tell him that I understand those things and I am grateful that I'm not experiencing those atrocities that they went through, or even the things that my mom went through when she was here. I am just trying to respectfully get my point across, again, because I'm just a cadet and I'm speaking to a 3-star general, and we're sitting on 2 couches face to face with each other in his large office, and I'm just trying to explain, and I just break down in tears, you guys. I could not hold frame. I'm just trying to explain to him that the racism and the misogyny that we experience today, like currently present day, is still very impactful, and can't use previous people's experience to invalidate what we experience today or make it that we shouldn't say anything about what we're experiencing today, because it's not that bad. It is awful and it has detrimental impacts on cadet success here at West Point. This all happened when I was 20 years old and I was halfway through my time here at West Point, and COVID was also happening, so it was just so much going on. There's so many things that I can't even put in the video, you know. I've already been here yapping for an hour almost, so these are just a few stories that I can share. Imagine everything that I can't share, and these are just the things that have happened to me. Imagine the things that I've seen happen to other people that I can't help. I can barely help myself, so how can I help other people? It's very easy to fall into a deep, dark depression and just a dark space when you feel very helpless and very scared. I will say, after my report of my TAC and my company, I was left alone. Like, everybody was walking on eggshells, which was fine for me because I was walking on eggshells. It was a much better cadet life for me. I just kept to myself. I had people watching over me, which I was so thankful for. And yeah, I just kept to myself. I wasn't really bothered anymore after that point. And whenever I was in company, I would just smile and wave and focus on my academics, focus on my squad when I had one. I loved my squad. I would make sure to try to show up for them whenever I could. And then senior year, I picked up a camera and started vlogging my experience because this was my dream school after all, guys. I didn't want to only remember it as bad. I wanted to remember it as it was, good and bad. I wanted to remember the good people and the bad people, the good memories and the bad ones. And I think for most part, my vlogs are very positive, but I want to take the time to put in my vlogs some of the negative experiences that I went through. I love hearing other cadet story times because it's just so niche and special. Only we really understand. Even this video and my whole channel, I try to explain as much as possible, but at the end of the day, you only understand for real if you're here. This content may go over some people's heads, but it's gonna land where it's supposed to land. And a frequently asked question I get DM'd is, do I think that you should go to West Point? I'd recommend West Point to anybody who's looking to join the military. And I think if you have what it takes to make it in here, you have what it takes to make it out. You just have to adapt, learn quickly, be a sponge. If you want an easy route, I would not recommend West Point because it's not easy for anybody. And for me, obviously, you see, it was especially challenging. But I'm committed to the process. I set this goal long ago and I'm going to reach it, you guys. I will make it out of here. Okay, so it's 1 a.m. and as UDO, I sit on the queue with the CDO, my roommate, until 2 a.m. And before then, we make sure to go around for taps and we literally look in everybody's room and make sure everybody's there. We write it on the tracker and send it up. This happens every night. Someone's gonna come around to your room, make sure that you're in bed. Oh, gracious.
Hey, do you know where Alex is?
Pass.
He's on pass tonight? Yeah, I know, but his day's wrong. Thanks. See, look at this. Start of pass, 22. End of pass, 23.
What is today?
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Next week is a big week. We have 100th night and we have post night. 2 very big nights for firsties, and I'm also going to take you to more classes, so make sure you stay tuned. Bye.